Inductive teaching method. Inductive teaching method is a method that promotes learning through inductive reasoning where skills of observation, comparing, and classifying are used to arrive at generalizations or definitions of concepts. It is also a sort of discovery learning that focuses on the student. For example, an instructor might use or show a few examples of a grammar point in English and then ask students what they noticed.
Let's learn. Take a look at these examples and tell me what you have observed. Example number 1, the flute ensemble are tuning their instruments. Example number 2, the team is heading for practice this afternoon. Example number 3, the shoal were darting in all directions. Have you noticed something?
We use the topic, subject and verb agreements of collective grammar that as one of our reserved topics. In that video, Ms. Ablasia showed few examples of collective nouns in a sentence and asked the students of what they have observed. By that, the student will observe the given examples and they will try to analyze and start looking for patterns. Here's another example.
Take a look at these examples again and tell me what you have observed. In example number 1, the flute ensemble are tuning their instruments. In example number 2, the flute ensemble is playing at the Kiwanis Music Festival. Why does the verb used in the same collective nouns is different? Second observation, in example number 1, the team is heading for practice this afternoon. In example number 2, the team are eating with their families. Again, why does the verb used in the same collective nouns is different? Last observation, in example number 1, the shoal was moving north. In example number 2, the shoal were darting in all directions. Why does the verb used in the same collective nouns is still different?
After giving the examples, here are some rules of a certain grammar that presents true sentences and guided practices.
The subject and verb agreement with collective nouns. Do you use a singular or plural verb to match a collective noun such as team or staff? The answer is it depends. In example number 1, the team is heading for practice this afternoon. If these nouns are acting as a unit or a single and complete, use a singular verb. In example number 2, the team are eating with their families tonight. If the sentence indicates individuality, then use a plural verb. Do you write the group is or the group are? Well, both can be right. Remember, you should treat a collective noun as singular or plural depending on the sense of your sentence. Example, the shoal was moving north. The shoal were darting in all directions. In the first sentence, the shoal is considered as one unit. Therefore, shoal is treated as singular and we use the verb was. However, in the second example, the shoal is considered as lots of individuals, and shoal is treated as plural. Therefore, we use the verb were. As a general rule, you should treat a collective noun as singular, unless you have a good reason for treating it as a plural. If it feels like a little uncomfortable treating a collective noun as singular or plural, add a term like members of to force a plural term. Example, the members of the audience are happy. Example again, the members of the audience are all wearing comedy wigs. The phrase members of the audience is plural. That is why we use the verb are. Some examples are, this organization puts on a barbecue every summer. In this sentence, the collective noun organization requires the singular verb puts because the staff is acting as a unit. all the members of the organizations are acting at the same time. Another example, a huge swarm of locusts has destroyed the crops. In this example, the collective noun swarm is acting as a unit. Therefore, you need the singular verb has. Once you've decided whether your collective nouns is singular or plural, stay consistent throughout your sentence. Example, the group is happy with their performance. Is singular and there is plural. That is why this sentence is wrong. We can use the group are happy with their performance. Are is plural and there is plural. For the next example, the group is happy with its performance. Is singular and its is also singular. Therefore, the sentence is correct because the sentence is consistent. Good job! Thank you.
Advantages of inductive teaching method. Many educators agree that it is a very efficient method because the students' interaction and participation in class. Students rely on their critical thinking to figure out the language. Students gain deeper understanding of the language. Promotes the strategy of noticing in the student. And enhance learners' autonomy or the right condition of self-government and their motivation.
The advantages of inductive methods. The learners are more engaged in teaching-learning process. The learners formulate the generalization or rule. It is important because it increases the likelihood that the learner will be successful at completing a task independently and not to rely on the assistance of a certain teacher or materials only found in teaching setting. Learning becomes more interesting at the outlet because teachers begin with the experiences of the students. Teachers begin with what they know. This strategy can help teachers fine-tune the content of their instruction. When teachers assess what students know, they can strategically allot time to the areas of greatest needs. It also helps the development of learners' higher-order thinking skills to see patterns and analyze the same. In order to arrive at generalizations requires analytical thinking. And instead of complete dependence on classroom learning and teachers for complete guidance and instructions, critical thinking allows students to become more self-reliant and independent learners.